Hi there, Lenka here, Operations Manager at Travelogue. I'm here for a special travelogue edition of Tubb Talk, the podcast for IT consultants. I called my colleagues Richard Tubb and Steven McCormick, who are on assignment today at attending the Cloud and Cybersecurity Expo at London Excel. Hi, boys. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Lenka?
We're fine, thank you, Lenka. Cheers.
All good over here. Well, tell me a bit more about this event that you're at.
Yeah, so we are in London for the big Cloud and Cybersecurity Expo, as you mentioned, at London Excel, which, as Steve and I have really rapidly found out, it's huge, and our feet are hurting, and we've been walking around a lot. So, to give an insight into the event, it's been going for a number of years. It's gone by different names, such I think it used to be called the IP Expo and things like that in the past. But obviously, cloud and cybersecurity are front and foremost of people's minds at the moment. It's not just aimed at managed service providers. So there are literally thousands of attendees, hundreds of exhibitors, and dozens of speakers here. But it's across the entire range of the tech industry. In fact, Steve, I think we've got, what is it? It's 3 shows in one, isn't it? We've got, is it the tech show, the cloud show, and the cybersecurity expo?
I think actually it's more like 4 or 5. Yeah, there are a number. There's like AI and big data encompassed here too. I mean, as I say, the scale of this thing is absolutely immense, and I wasn't really prepared for the amount of people that would actually be here. It's my first time at the Excel, and it's just overwhelming. It's just huge.
Yeah, it's probably the closest thing we've got in the UK to, if you've ever been to Las Vegas and the casinos and things there, where they just sort of herd you into a place and you forget whether it's day or night, Lenka.
Well, the venue itself, it's spectacular. That is a unique event. So, enjoy. It can be overwhelming, but also it's such a unique opportunity. And I'm so glad that, we get to be there and experience it. And of course, we have one of the vendors here in attendance. It's Pax8, and I know we have a very special guest here, Tom Welton. Hi, Tom. How are you finding the event so far?
Hey, Lenka. I think Stephen said it best. The scale of this building is just overwhelming. We've do a lot of traveling, do a lot of road shows all over the United Kingdom and Greater Europe as well. And by far and away, this is the largest venue we've been to. Just immense in scale. A lot of things, in cloud and technology and things that we're close to here in Pax8, and then a lot of things we're not to. And so I think I saw a presentation booth about lead-based batteries or something like that, and solar wind turbines and big data and things like that. So very cool to see the larger ecosystem of technologies out there.
Well, there's so much at an event like this that's going on. You have the vendors, you have the talks, you have everything. So, Tom, what is Pax8's goal for attending this type of event? What are you looking for the most?
Sure. We are just getting our name out there as well. We've been in the United Kingdom for coming on almost 4 years now, so it has gone by very quickly. But ultimately, just try to get out into the community is something really big for us here at Pax8. We are looking for new new partners to join us, and the MSP and the MSSPs to help them out, not just with kind of licensing queries and things like that, but ultimately to chat about their business, about the strategy that they're working with their customers and some of this cloud licensing. Myself, I work on the solution engineering team, and so I do a little bit more of the technical demos and implementations. But then ultimately as well, what we found is a lot of this technology complexity that's out there has kind of that double-edged sword of complex billing at the end of the day. And so how does that billing work out? A lot of things are usage-based now, where you just go out and use it all month, and then an API checks back a different number month after month. And just kind of untangling that for our partners and showing them a better way of billing, making a lot of finance people very happy at our organization, just to solve some of those problems. But we also saw a couple of current partners as well. So it's always good just to come out there. They come up to us and say, hey, I've been with you guys for a couple months and just asking them, how's it going? And more importantly, what can we be doing better? We're not comfortable with being good. We want to be great. And if we're getting 4 out of 5 stars, we're really asking them like, hey, what's going to make us a 5 out of 5 in your book? And hearing it directly on the floor there, surrounded by industry giants, lots of different technologies, lots of new and shiny things out there, really trying to make ourselves, separated from the pack in that regard.
And I'm so happy to hear that, even in the IT industry, it's all about people. It's all about a connection. And I'm curious, Stephen, which NSPs have you caught up with while already being at the event for a little while?
Yeah, so I mean, as Richard mentioned earlier, there are a lot of companies here that are kind of aiming their products at more the kind of enterprise level, but there are still plenty for MSPs to actually get at these events too. I met up with somebody who I'd never met in person until yesterday, and that was Tony Edwards of BitSmart Tech. So it was really, really nice to catch up with him. Also, there was Mike Hodgson of Design Magic, and one of my regular kind of peers who attends a lot of the Tech Tribe meetings, a lady called Saroj Baines, and she is a tech sales advisor and mentor. So it was really nice to catch up with them all. Yeah, really, really good.
I should give a shout out as well if I can, Lenka. So anybody who is listening to these sort of Travelogue episodes or sees me and Stephen at an event, initially they're like, oh, great, Rick, Stephen, say hello. And then, of course, what do we do to them, Steve? We sort of ambush them a little bit and we say, oh, can we record a quick video with you? Because that's what we do. So I'm going to give a shout out. We recorded, a dozen or more videos, but Tony from BitSmart Tech, who's just he's actually a great partner for Pax8 as well, Tom, isn't he? And Mike Hodgson, as you mentioned, they were just two of the volunteers who came forward to do those videos. So thank you, guys.
That's part of it. It's part of the whole being out and about, meeting people, getting some content and connecting. But also, a big part of events like this are the speakers, are the talks. And I would love to hear a little bit about who were the interesting speakers on the main stage that you've got to see or you're looking forward to see.
Yeah, so there was dozens of speakers, as I said, and I know Steve and I tried to divide our time and go to different ones. The ones that jumped out for me, though, so there's a lady called Zoe Kleinman, who is the technology editor at BBC. I think she's an amazing woman in tech. She was the host for the event, and she did a really good job of being a speaker myself. I know how difficult we can be to wrangle and make sure that we're in the right place at the right time and sticking to our time cues. So I think she did a brilliant job of that. But the two speakers who jumped out for me, the first one was purely for a geeky level. It's got nothing at all to do with managed services. But Dr. Carolyn Mercer of NASA was talking about the search for life elsewhere in the universe. And I've got to tell you, I bored Steve more times than I can mention talking about alien life and other planets and all sorts of things. So that was fascinating to me, but more, I was going to say a little bit more down to earth, but definitely in the future. So there was Bernardo Mariano Jr., who's the Chief Information Technology Officer of no less than the United Nations, the UN. And he was talking about how AI is going to affect all aspects of our life going forward. And there was one specific quote that really jumped out for me. Bernardo was talking about when plastic was invented all those years ago. He said, we saw it as a good thing. And yet fast forward to today, and we're now seeing the impact of plastic. So it's not that it's a good or a bad thing, but there's an impact to its society. And Bernardo said, artificial intelligence is similar. We need to prepare for the impact of AI now. So that was a really powerful presentation from me, from a real luminary from the United Nations. But there was dozens of great speakers, weren't there, Stephen? I know you went to some of the events that I didn't go to.
Yeah, I mean, there were at least 3 different stages in each of the 5 kind of partnered expos, so there was so many to kind of choose from. Two that really stood out for me, though. Firstly, was a guy, absolutely fascinating guy. His name was Stuart Seymour, and he works for Virgin Media O2. But he has got a background in. He used to be an officer in the armed forces deployed to Bosnia. He's worked for Lockheed Martin, and all through his career, he has discovered something that we probably have only just started discovering ourselves, and that is the value of neurodiverse people in your workforce to actually deal with things like threat intelligence. And it's not just about how you kind of bring them in, but how you kind of nurture them and make sure that they've got a safe psychological space. It was really, really fascinating. So that was my first one. That was amazing. But of course, we have Tom here, so I've got to mention Tom's colleague here, Mostyn Thomas, who gave a great talk, as he always does, which always calls back to things in the past that can help us with the future of cyber security. So his talk was called Fires, Finance and Phishing. And he introduced us to a fascinating character called Wag Dodge. Now, Wag Dodge was a smoke jumper in the 1930s or early 40s. And what they did was they used to parachute out of planes behind raging bush fires, and they'd try and control them to stop them from spreading. Well, in this one time that he jumped, the communications equipment that they jumped with that actually broke, so they were completely cut off. So Wag had a fantastic idea of setting a fire at his own feet, which sounds absolutely bonkers, but what he was doing was he was starving the main fire of its potential fuel. So by doing that, he cleared a path, and it kind of prepared him for the blaze that was coming his way. And he was actually only one of two of that squad that actually survived that. And the firefighters in the States use that example to train firefighters who are coming into the service. So it's a good lesson to kind of teach. And I think his presentation was all about that, finding those teachable moments to prevent your workforce from falling victim to phishing. So yeah, it was really, really good.
And I know, Steve, you're going to do you're putting together a write-up, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Of not only the whole event, but Mostyn's presentation as well, which I had so many different people speak to me about that. And Lenka, I actually managed to pin Mostyn down, who, is a little bit of a celebrity in cybersecurity circles now. And so I managed to pin Mostyn down, and we sat down and we recorded a bit of a bonus-ode just talking about his presentation and others. So podcast listeners can expect that, but go and check out Stephen's blog when it comes through.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And I've heard this story before of Bagdodge and the quick thinking that he really did on this assignment, where things were definitely not going right at first, and how so many lessons that the industry learned from there, and obviously so many lessons that can be applied broadly in different industries as well. So that sounded like a fantastic talk. Tom, talking of cybersecurity, obviously that is front and center at Pax8. What can we expect to see from you guys in the months to come?
Sure. And yeah, we're just gonna continue to execute on the fundamentals. That's something that we can't lose sight of when we're staring down the barrel of already almost April here in 2024. We can't forget where we came from and get the fundamentals of security in place. I do a couple of different presentations, and oftentimes I kind of finish that with, well, the biggest security threat in the room is you, is me. It's every human being in the chair, and really kind of pushing that security awareness training. And if we can educate the user, then that's an additional cybersecurity resource for people that are well trained in your organization. And even if you're not a technology company, if they're able to use these systems, all businesses are technology businesses nowadays, they're able to at least see something that looks a little bit odd and then have a process to escalate that to their internal IT teams. Then you don't need that, full SOC service and things like that. You kind of crowdsource some of that threat intelligence. And then, with that baseline of fundamentals, we are riding the wave of the future. We are internally at Pax8 experimenting with a lot of these AI things. Microsoft Copilot, probably the dominant one that we hear about out there. How is that different than the Bing chat enterprise that we see there that we can get access to free? And then, in combination with that cybersecurity aspect of implementing all these new tools, again, credit to Moston, really a security hero of the industry and in our organization. The risks associated inside of using it, as well as adhering to compliancy. So not just GDPR. Here in the United Kingdom, Cyber Essentials is a very big driving force. Making sure that when we're using these chat bots, we're not giving away the secret sauce, or we're not inadvertently giving somebody's PII data and personal information out to some of these web bots. And again, that's going to come in combination with training the good old fashioned user and you and me behind the computer. And so it's fun. Yeah, we're going to be in the forefront of the technology, and we, kind of have the saying that, drink your own champagne. We leverage all of these internal, these tools internally, so that we can go out then and make a good, consult to our partners and our businesses about the most effective way to use it, the best way to roll it out as well. To quote one of my colleagues, Evan Phillips, very specifically here at Pax8, this can be a shiny new toy, but if it's implemented wrong, it turns into a shiny new grenade. And I know that's kind of very, heavy language, but he couldn't have been more on the nose about it, I think. So it'll be very exciting. And to agree with everybody here, AI it's not going away. It's not a fad or a craze. It's here to stay, and it's going to develop. And again, the successful businesses are going to be the ones that adapt and really adapt to use it moving forward, not just to sustain, but to grow as well. So very exciting future. It's going to be for the next couple of years here.
Wow, definitely. Lots of things to come. So exciting. I don't want to keep you away from the event for any longer. So to close out this Travelogue episode, I will take a bit of inspiration from my colleague Pascal Fintoni, who usually hosts these Travelogue, and I will give you a fun little cybersecurity quiz. How do you think you know your cybersecurity facts, guys?
I've been put on the spot here a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so question number 1. When was the first reported computer virus? Was it in 1954, 1971, or 1982? What are your guesses?
I think I know how it occurred. I think I know how the attack occurred. Something to do with a floppy disk in a certain global organization. Because I think I heard the story. I'll go with maybe 71 for my guess on that one.
Okay, I'll make a note. 71. I'll let you know later on. Any other guesses? Anyone want to pitch in?
I think
No?
I'm gonna agree with Tom here. I think it would have to have been earlier than we would have had a domestic computer, or but it's kind of like it would have been around the early 70s. I would have thought, although computers have been going a long time, of course. So I think I'm gonna go with that one.
And I'm going to go 71. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this one. Although I'm old enough to remember when I got my first virus. I think it was called the Ghost virus on the Atari ST FM. And I'm going to say that was about 1989. But anyway, 1971, I'm going to say there.
Okay. So we are in agreement. Well, we'll see if that's correct. Question number 2 is, What was the name of the computer that Matthew Broderick hacked and almost started World War III with in the 1983 movie War Games?
I know this one, so I'll let the.
I
I'll let
definitely
these
know
two
this one because
go first. Yeah,
it's my favorite movie, like Steve. So, Tom, we'll put you on the spot first.
Oh no, because it was the creator's name was the name of the computer of the story. I remember it. I want to say Isaac, but I don't think it's Isaac. I think it's something in that realm. But I'm blank. I'm on the hot seat here about that. So I'll have to default to Isaac. You guys will both be able to correct me, and then unfortunately I'm gonna have to go home and then rewatch it this week.
I think this has been skewed towards us because Lenka probably knows, Stephen, that it's like one of our favorite movies here, isn't it? So it's like, yeah. So I know the answer to this. You know it, don't you, Stephen?
Yeah. Well, the supercomputer is an acronym, isn't it? And it's WOPR.
Whopper.
And they call it Whopper.
Yeah.
But I think you're right there a bit, Tom, because it is based on the original kind of AI concept, which was Professor Falcon's first computer, which was named after his son. Can you remember his son's name, Richard?
Oh, that's a good one. Was it
David? Because that was the other one.
David was Matthew Broderick's character's name.
Yeah. No, I can't remember.
It was Joshua.
Joshua, thank you. Because you've got Falcon's Maze and Joshua.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. I think Steve.
Sorry, I've kind of jumped on your quiz there a bit there.
We've gone off into movie territory.
I knew that this is a slippery slope when I'm bringing in things like that with you guys. So I completely respect that. Fair enough. I still have one more question. What type of image found online is most used by cyber criminals to trick you into clicking a malicious link or content? Tom, we'll start with you. So the guys don't hijack the conversation in case.
What type of image is most used? Would it be like a login button, maybe, if they're harvesting credentials, or am I overthinking it? It's like a picture of something that maybe I'm not thinking about?
Think internet and think what's most popular on the internet.
A cat. Cats.
Any other guesses? Richard, Stephen, do you want to pitch in?
I won't tell you where my mind first went there because it's a family show, but yeah, that was the first thing that occurred to me. But yeah, I think Tom might be onto something here with cats, or it'll be it's going to be cats or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be some kind of cute animal of some kind, and everyone knows that cats is the most popular animal on the internet. So
I would think cats as well, but apparently cats are divisive, so it is puppies.
they are divisive.
Apparently 85 of those adorable puppy photos you will see online can actually be a trick. 85% of puppies can be a scam. That's ridiculous.
Wow. Don't click on puppies, people.
Leave the puppies alone.
And to answer the first question, that was a slightly tricky question because there are two contenders for the type of first computer virus, depending on how you define the term. It could be the Creeper in the 1971, or it could be the Elk Cloner in the 82. But let's go with the 71. You all guys agree there is a good case for this to really being the first virus. So you know what? You did pretty well.
Thank you,
Not bad at all.
I'll let you guys go back to the event. Thank you so much for stopping by and having this little chat with us. Thank you, listeners, for listening. If you'd like to find out more about Pax8, you can visit our resource page at tubb.co/Pax8. And if you'd like to stay in touch with Richard or Stephen, you can find all their work on the Tubblock, the hub for MSPs at tubblock.co.uk. And I see you somewhere out there on the road, and you guys go ahead and have more fun, network, learn, mingle, all of that.
Thank you. We're looking forward to a beer at this stage, I think, aren't we? With
I
apron
think
feet,
so. I think it's 5
yeah.
o'clock somewhere, and it might be just around now. So yeah.
You have called it well there, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, we should give a. Can we, Lenka? Just before we go, I want to give a shout out. So we talking to beers. We went out for dinner last night with Tom and Ayinda and Liberty and the whole Pax8 team and some MSPs as well. So I just want to give a big shout out to Liberty and Ayinda, who every time we're at the same event as them, Stephen, don't they? They look after us so
They
much.
really do. They
dinner.
know
So-
how to treat us.
So thanks for joining us, Tom. Appreciate
Thank you, Tom. Yeah.
No,
thank
of
you for
course.
joining
Yeah,
us,
I'll pass back that feedback. They'll love that. So they always take great care of us, better than we deserve. So yeah.
Thanks,
That's
Lenka.
glad to hear.
Thank you, Lenka.
See you guys. Good luck. Good fun. See you soon. Bye.
Hey team, this is Richard again. Just one more thing before you take off, and that is MSP Insights. Now, every Tuesday, I share my thoughts on the business of IT with you, the managed service community. Thousands of managed service providers already subscribe to MSP Insights. It's easy to sign up, easy to cancel. MSP Insights is basically a short email from me every Tuesday without fail with advice on growing your IT business, plus cool resources I've found, discovered, or started exploring that week. It's kind of like my diary of cool things and often includes articles or books I've read, tools I've discovered, and events I think you'd be interested in, often sent to me by my friends and Tubb Talk podcast guests. So if that sounds fun, a short tiny bite of MSP goodness every Tuesday, and you'd like to try it out, just go to go.tubb.co/Tuesday. That's go.tubb.co/Tuesday. Drop in your email and you'll get the very next one. Thanks for listening.